What if there was a simple pill that you could take each day that would boost your antioxidant levels, help maintain blood sugar, give you a shower of superfoods, help control your appetite, and provide over 30 different fruits and vegetables? Sounds like a gimmick, right? What if it's not? Fruits and vegetables. Everybody knows they're important, and we all know that we need them. But they tend to really be neglected in most people's diet. Growing up, I always heard you need to eat at least 5 fruits and vegetables a day. And back then when I was a kid, it was like, 5? Are you kidding me? Maybe 5 fruits. I'm not eating no 5 vegetables. But now that I'm an adult, my taste buds have changed a little. I'm okay with that. Like, yeah, 5 a day, that sounds pretty good. Enter the topic of monocropping. Have you heard of monocropping? It's a conventional farming practice that's currently used in the majority of produce in America. And it's where a crop will be grown on the same ground, the same crop, year after year after year after year. Sounds efficient. And from a cost standpoint, it might be. That's probably why it's happening. But from a nutritional standpoint, it is the most devastating thing that has happened in modern farming practices. Because what has happened is that the soil that these crops are being planted in is being stripped of its nutrients. You see, different fruits and vegetables, they require different balances, different nutrients. And the fruits and vegetables, they also give back to the earth. And whenever produce is farmed in a way where different species and different plants are grown on the same soil, they live in synergy together and they sort of harmonize. And from that, you get really fertile ground. But the problem with monocropping is that we don't get that fertility. We're not getting the synergy. And that one crop is taking the same nutrients over and over and over until the soil begins to be depleted. What does that mean for the consumer? What does that mean for you and for me when we go to the grocery store and grab an apple? Or we go to the grocery store and grab some grapes? Here's the primary problem that we're facing, is that these practices weren't as prominent 50, 75, 100 years ago. So our grandparents and our great-grandparents, they weren't experiencing the same lowered quality of food that we are currently experiencing. So what researchers are finding is that any particular fruit now contains significantly less nutrients than it should and that it did years ago. In fact, they're saying, take an apple for example, that in order to get the nutrients from one apple 100 years ago, you would have to now eat 50 apples to make sure that you still get the same amount of nutrients. That's impossible. This is what monocropping has done to the American farmland, and I'm sure other places around the world. It has gotten to a point that now scientists, nutritionists, dietitians, they're studying this. They're studying this phenomenon, and what they've decided is they've changed what we need. You don't just need 5 fruits and vegetables anymore. Now they're saying we should be consuming between 9 and 13 servings of fresh fruits and vegetables a day to meet the demands and the needs of our bodies. That is huge. I don't know about you. I eat a plant-based diet, and considering 9 to 13 vegetables a day, that really blows my mind because I try, but I'll be honest, there are just days where I'm not eating that much. So why is this becoming such an issue, and how do we solve this problem? Well, that is an extremely long topic, and I'm sure on this show we will dive into that in episodes to come. But that's not exactly where I want to go today. What I want to talk about today is what is happening on the forefront of nutrition to help mitigate this loss. Let's talk about fruits and vegetables and why they're so important. There are so many different diets out there. You've got the carnivore diet and the keto diet and the vegan diet and the vegetarian diet, and they all rely on fruits and vegetables or the lack thereof to some extent. And any and all of them can have some health benefits. It is not my goal as a nutritionist to say you have to do this, because everyone's body is different. I can't get on this program and say everyone should be plant-based. Although I think it's a great idea, there are some people who require certain things that they're not going to get from plants, and there are some body types that just don't work best on that. My body type happens to feel really good on a plant-based diet, but I'm not going to propagate that for everyone. But what I will say is this: the thing we have in common is our body needs certain things. Our bodies need things like phytonutrients. They need things like antioxidants. They need vitamins. They need minerals. Okay. There are, of course, the macros, right? There is carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. We have to have that to survive. That's what our body runs off of, right? But there are other things that are the micros that, although they're not the big three, they are vital to longevity, to immunity, and to overall good health. So let's take a moment and get really nerdy and really scientific and talk about what do plants offer. Yes, animal products can sometimes offer some of these things, but they're never going to be in the high concentration and the amounts that come from plants. Because if you're getting these things from animal products, it's a byproduct of what the animal ate. So you can either have trace amounts or you can go straight to the source. We're going to talk about the source. So first thing is phytonutrients. What are phytonutrients? We hear about them, but maybe we're not clear. Phytonutrients are natural chemicals, they're compounds, and they're produced by plants. They are the compounds responsible for keeping plants healthy, from everything from insects to the sun. And because these phytonutrients contain antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties, it's been discovered that they are key in supporting our bodies. Because it's synergistic. Whenever we consume them, we start getting the same effects. So we said antioxidants. What are antioxidants? It's all the rage. It's all about superfoods. It's all about antioxidants. What are they? Well, they are nutrients that help protect your cells from damage, especially damage called oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is when your body has too many free radicals. Okay, I'm throwing out a lot of biology words here for you. Free radicals are unstable molecules, and only antioxidants can get rid of them. When the balance of antioxidants and free radicals is out of balance, this is when damage occurs in everything from our cells to our DNA. Small amounts of free radicals are actually needed by our body for normal balance and function. But whenever we have an excess, we need the antioxidants to keep them in check. And antioxidants, the primary source is through plants. Vitamins. Of course, we understand vitamins. They're nutrients that our body needs to function and develop properly. Okay, there are 13 essential vitamins, and they are required for proper function. And the great news is, our body really only needs these vitamins in small amounts. But whenever we lack any of those 13 vitamins, it can cause major malfunctions in our bodies. And then there's minerals. Minerals are inorganic substances. They don't contain carbon. And they're also part of a healthy functioning body. So macro minerals are those like calcium and magnesium. Our bodies do require a large amount, usually 100 milligrams a day or more. But then there are trace minerals like zinc and selenium. And we need much smaller amounts, but they're just as important. What only comes from plants? Well, here's the catch. Regardless of the diet we choose to eat, the undeniable fact is that the highest concentration of these nutrients come from plants. This is why researchers are now saying that we need between 9 and 13 servings a day of fruits and vegetables. Let's go through a couple of things that research shows about the importance of fruits and vegetables. The National Cancer Institute recommends eating 7 to 13 fruits and vegetables per day to prevent lung, breast, colon, and prostate cancers by 50% or more. The American Heart Association recommends to prevent heart disease and stroke, you should have 7 to 13 fruits and vegetables a day. I want you to note that the U.S. government has spent trillions of dollars in medical research trying to find a cure for heart disease, cancer, and diabetes. So fruits and vegetables help support immune function, decrease inflammation. They improve your cognitive function. They support healthy skin and dental health, cardiovascular health, lung function, gut health. The science behind it is undeniable. No one ever got sick from eating fruits and vegetables. The question is, are we eating enough to keep our bodies healthy? Where does that leave us, the eaters, right? I love that the scientists say we need this, and the evidence is there, and we know it comes from plants. And whether or not I eat an all plant-based diet or I eat mostly primarily animal-based products, I could certainly munch on some fruit or some vegetables. But getting me to 9 or 13 servings, that's a lot. Welcome to the wonderful world of whole food powders. There is this, I won't say it's a new thing, but it's becoming extremely popular, and it's called whole food powders. There are lots of different brands. You'll see it advertised on television. You may have a friend that suggests that you try it. They may say, hey, like I get it from this source or that source. At the heart of it, I want us to understand what whole food powders are. In this program, Healing Conspiracy, we look at lots of different topics when it comes to healing. And one of the things that I really like to do is dive into understanding new trends or alternative things that are going on that really have benefit for people when taken correctly. Whole food powders are one of those things. I actually have experienced the benefit myself, and that's why I wanted to bring it to you. So let's talk about it. What are whole food powders? How are they made? Okay, well, first of all, they're non-GMO fruits and vegetables. That's important. Like if it's genetically modified, if it has been created by a scientist, it's never going to have what we need. Nature has been going on since the foundation of this world and since people were eating. And there is a reason that humanity has survived all this time, because the earth has provided what is needed. So non-GMO fruits and vegetables, they're harvested at the peak of ripeness, and the fruit, and in most cases, the stems and the leaves and the seeds actually are frozen. Now you may think that's gross. Why would you do that? Because in most cases, in most plants, it is the stems and the leaves and the seeds that tend to have the highest concentration, and the peels, if you will, that have the highest concentration of vitamins, phytonutrients, things like that. I think of it like this. Let's talk about antioxidants for a minute. If I have an apple, that apple has a skin on it, and that skin is a color, whether it's red or green or pink or whatever the color may be. And it looks delicious, it looks great. But what happens as soon as I cut that apple? Within minutes, it begins to change color. It begins to turn yellow to brown, to the point where then you don't want to eat it anymore. Why does that happen? That's oxidation. And so it's the same thing in our bodies whenever we have those free radicals. Our bodies begin to sort of rust on the inside, if you will. But the apple has this very unique thing called a skin or a peel that has a color. And as long as that apple is wrapped up in that skin or that peel, it does not oxidate, or at least it takes an extremely long amount of time. When we eat the skin of the apple, we are getting the very compounds and the very chemicals and the very nutrients from that apple peel that keeps the apple safe, that counterbalances the oxidation. And this is how antioxidants work. So that is why it's vital in a good whole food powder to make sure that they're using things like the stems, the leaves, and the seeds. So we're going to take these fruits and vegetables, we're going to harvest them at the peak of ripeness, and then freeze them. And then from that point, they're ready to be processed into juice, right? And so we're going to juice all of those parts. And then they dry this juice. I mean, it's basically like freeze dried. And then it turns into this powder. Now, the drying takes place at an extremely low temperature because, see, high temperatures, they would destroy the chemical compounds. But low temperature, slow drying will preserve the compounds. It's kind of like the whole idea of dehydrating, right? And so then that powder is combined with other plant-based vitamins and ingredients, such as the peel, and then it's encapsulated into a small capsule and then packed in a way that's preserved. So what I'm getting now is this capsule that's tiny, but it's got concentrated fruits and vegetables in it. So how exactly does that work? What they've discovered is whenever you juice and then dry out and turn it into a powder, you're increasing the potency because you're able to pack so many into such a small amount, right? So instead of eating one apple, I have 20 apples in this one capsule. And so it becomes a way to basically get tons of nourishment in a very small space, if you will. That's what makes these whole food capsules so powerful, because I'm getting what I need, but I'm not having to just eat and eat and eat. So that is the invention of whole food powders. That's how it works. But I want to caution you because not all whole food powders are created equally. You know, this is not a highly regulated field. And although there are definitely tests and third-party tests that can be done, there are lots of products out there that tout that they're healthy, but they don't have the backing to prove it. I hope that you're starting to get an idea of what whole food powders are and how they operate, and maybe even saying, you know what, that would be a really easy way to get my 9 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables. Now, listen, I think you still need to be eating fruits and vegetables, but you just may not be able to get 9 to 13 servings. So this kind of helps bridge that gap, if you will, and ensures that I'm going to get what is needed as I take it in addition to the food that I'm eating. I would never tell someone, you don't need to eat fruits and vegetables, just take these capsules. That's like the lazy way, and it's not going to work. It is in addition to what you're eating to help ensure that you're getting the proper nutrition that your body needs. So let's take a quick turn and let's talk for just a moment about making sure that if you decide to go down the route of whole food powders, you have some things to really test that you're getting a good quality product. First of all, it is important that you get whole food powders that are 100% food. They are not synthetic or chemicals. Here's the way you know. You look on the label. Your whole food powder, whatever the brand is, it should have a label that is a nutrition facts panel, not a supplement facts panel, because only nutrition facts panels ensure that the ingredients are actually food. If it's a supplement facts panel, it can include things that are not food. So whenever we're talking about getting this nutrition and we want to get the benefits from plants, we need to make sure that it's only plants in the bottle. Second thing is this. You want to be sure that the product that you choose to take, it has a robust collection of research papers to support their claims. The claims should be about the actual product itself and what's in the capsule, not just testimonials of people who say, I've had a great experience. Although those are encouraging and they're exciting, and I like hearing them, that's not proof. The proof is what's in the capsule. And so you want to make sure that research has been done by third-party experts in the fields of nutrition and health. And any company that has a pure product is going to be able to point you easily to third-party research. And they're going to tout it. They're going to say, look at our product. Look at how many things, scientists have said and researchers have said, and look at all the different ways that people are raving over our product in the scientific community. That should be the foundation of what you're seeing the buzz about. Also, you want to make sure that the product has an NSF mark on the bottle. This ensures that they have undergone independent testing to meet and exceed strict guidelines for quality and safety. So if it doesn't have an NSF label, I would steer clear. You also want to make sure that it is certified non-GMO, because we've said before, we are wanting the benefits from plants, not things that have been synthetically produced in a laboratory. Ask yourself this: does the product have a history of excellence and safety? Have they only been around for a year? That may be something for caution. So whenever you take all of these things, it helps you to find a product that you can really depend on and know that what I'm getting is nutritious and healthy for my body. So what will these whole food capsules actually provide for you? Well, 30 fruits and vegetables with all the phytonutrients, all the polyphenols, all the antioxidants, the vitamins, and the nutritional benefit that the plant has to offer. But it's just in a simple capsule, or in some cases, a chewable. So now that brings us to the question, who really should invest in and think about taking whole food powders? Well, my answer is this: all humans. Because humans need fruits and vegetables for the benefits that they give to our bodies. And so if you're a human, you need to be consuming 9 to 13 fruits and vegetables a day. And unless you're just eating a salad bar every meal, that may not be happening. I really believe this is a powerful innovation where we see the combination of technology and nutrition combined without compromise. And I love the results. So let's talk a minute about some results that I've seen. For kids, this can be a tremendous gateway to a healthy lifestyle and an introduction to fruits and vegetables. It opens up doors for conversations. What are these? Oh, this is fruits and vegetables. Oh, wow, I really like the way these taste. It really kind of gets the ball rolling, and it introduces kids to experiment and to explore and to realize this can be easy and this can be simple, and this is a part of our healthy lifestyle. And then what the studies have shown is that kids who actually consume whole food powders, either in a capsule form or in a gummy form, they start to switch their palate. Food cravings begin to dissipate, sugar consumption begins to dissipate, the immune system becomes stronger, and then they begin to experience and get a flavor and a taste for fruits and vegetables, which leads to them eating more raw or cooked vegetables around the dinner table. They've found that kids who are consuming whole food powders actually begin drinking more water. They have less doctor visits, they have fewer days of missed school, and they take less over-the-counter drugs and medicines. I have 3 kids, and I can say that when my kids started taking these whole food capsules, or they took the gummy form, in a matter of a couple of weeks, they were actually not griping or fussing about me putting vegetables on the table, and they were willing to eat them. And I will remember the turning point was when one night for dinner, I decided I'm going to make hummus and have a tray of veggies. And that's what we're going to have, and we're going to see what happens. And my kids were willing to experiment and try every single vegetable that I put out. And to my surprise, they were eating raw sweet potatoes, they were eating raw beets, they were eating raw asparagus, and they were not complaining. And I do believe that it was due in part to that change in what the body craves and what the body desires. And they were beginning to feel the effects. Now, don't get me wrong. There are definitely times when my kids gripe about vegetables, but they're more willing to try them now. And I do believe it is because we've incorporated this into our lifestyles. So what about for adults though? Well, really, it's the same as kids, all these same things, but there's some very interesting things that also happen with adults because, we're a little bit more set in our ways and we have a little bit more clogged up systems than kids, right? But what I can say is in adults, some of the key features are it fights inflammation. And, I've shared with you before that I struggle with inflammation from time to time. And when I started taking the whole food capsules, my inflammation levels dropped by about 25%, which was noticeable. It also restores body systems over time. It takes some time. The results vary because everybody's different. Let me share this story with you. My mom came home from the eye doctor several months ago and was very discouraged because she was having the early onset of macular degeneration and she was starting to lose her vision. She was getting floaters in her eyes and she was beginning to have pain in her eyes. So I had a talk with her. We talked about some changes she could make in her diet. We did some research and we found that macular degeneration is actually a nutrient deficiency. It's a lack of omega-3s in the diet and a lack of antioxidants. So I said, well, here's what we need to do. Let's get you on some whole food powders to get your antioxidant levels up. Let's get you on some whole food omegas. And let's really stimulate with essential oils the muscles around your eyes, and let's see what happens. And within 3 or 4 weeks, she called me and said, this stuff is starting to work. Almost all of the floaters are gone out of my eyes, and I'm not experiencing the eye pain anymore. She said, I'm starting to see more clearly. And that was her experience, because the body knew how to heal itself when it was given the proper nutrition. I think that is so powerful. I have no doubt that whole food powders are a tremendous way to supplement, if you will, your nutrition. There are simple solutions to help keep our bodies in perfect balance, to give our body the nutrition that it needs. We just have to know about it and be intentional. Whether you decide after this program to go and start upping your intake of fruits and vegetables 9 to 13 a day, or whether you say, hey, I may try out these whole food powders and see if it gives me the boost that I'm looking for. I think you will not regret it if we are intentional about making sure that our bodies get the fuel and the nutrients that they need. Thanks for tuning in today. If you have questions about whole food powders, or you want to know the specific kind that I use, I would love to give you more information. I will put links in the show notes and the description. Make sure to check that out. Thank you so much for listening today. I'm honored that you would take time out of your day to be with me and to learn as we learn together every strategy that we can, not only to promote healing in our own lives, but in the lives of those closest to us. If you haven't already, I want to encourage you to subscribe to the podcast, become a follower, make sure you leave a review, and really stay on top of this. I want you to not miss any episodes, because every week we're talking about things that are vital to us moving forward in building a healthy environment. So share the podcast with a friend. As you go forward, have a healthy week. And remember, seek for the truth, and it will set you free.